Friends, 673 days of war. Russian army is continuing its offensive operations all along the battlefront and making gains. In southern war zone on Kherson front, battle continues for Krinky. Artillery duels are more prominent than the ground offensive. ISW says that Russians have advanced on the left bank of Dnieper river. On Zaporizhia front in Orikho sector, Russian army made gains towards northwest of Robotyne, between Robotyne and Verbove, and northeast of Kopani. Information says, and which is confirmed, that Ukrainians are withdrawing from or up to Surovikin line. In Rimivki salient, by and large positional battles along with artillery duels are continuing. In east, on Marinka front, battle is continuing near Novomykhailovka, where Russian army is trying to push from south and southeast outskirts of the city, and also towards Pobeda, where the Ukrainian counteroffensive did not succeed. On the west of it, Russians continue advancing towards Avdiivka and have reached on its outskirts after advancing close to 500 meters. Towards Soledar, Ukrainian sources report high losses near the city when an armor column came under attack from the Russian MLRS. Both men and material were lost. In Avdiivka, in the northern flank, battle continues towards Novokalinivka, where Russians made some small gains, and also towards Okaterine forestry. They also advance towards Novobakhmutivka. In southern flank, fight continues towards private sector and coke plant, where they have made some small gains. They also made gains towards Pervomaisky and Nevelsky. On Bakhmut front, in the southern flanks, battle continues for Avdiivka, northwest of Klishivka. No major changes. In north, Russians continuing their offensive towards Ivanovsky, that is Krasnoye, Bogdanovka, and they have advanced north of Bogdanivka almost 400 meters and towards south in northeast direction 300 meters. They also made gains towards Popovsky forest and cemetery site. Now Chasiv Yar stands almost 2 kilometers away from the Russian army. North of Soledar also, Russian army made some advance towards Sperne and south of it towards Berestov direction. In north, the Russians have made some good gains towards Liman and Serebryansky forestry in last 2 to 3 days. In Kupyansk, Sinkovka direction fight continues, where almost half a dozen of Ukrainians' counterattacks were repulsed by the Russian army. ISW confirms that Russians have made gains near Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Donetsk and Verbove direction, and in north towards Kupyansk direction. Interdiction missions are on, like Ukrainians used UAVs to reach up to Rostov, continue shelling in regions in Belgorod, Bryansk, DPR, where close to 200 rounds were counted. Russians launched attacks in Volgograd, Dnipropetrovsk, Nikolaev, Odessa, airfields in Starokonstantinov, Khmelnytsky, and there are reports that the Kherson railway station had been hit and badly damaged. On Palestinian-Israeli conflict, IDF has increased area of operation in Khan Yunis in southern Gaza Strip, while in north fight continues for Zabalia. Hezbollah launched the largest rockets strike into northern Israel, damaging many houses. Some of the Palestinian groups said they are holding a detailed discussion on Egyptian proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza Strip, but it is unlikely that they will accept it. From Africa, African countries supported by Russian Federation, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger in September created a military alliance called Alliance of Sahel States and plan to create a single state in future. Fantastic. Moroccan government has invited these countries and even Chad for expansion of Sahel countries to Atlantic Ocean. Scott Ritter has said that electronic warfare is becoming very important in terms of jamming enemies' drone capabilities and is changing the modern warfare scenario, like what machine guns did in World War I and tanks did in World War II. There are other weapons of excellence as far as Russian Federation is concerned, like Tor M2 air defense against UAVs, T-90 tanks which could launch guided missiles, Ka-52 with large range missiles, Kinjal hypersonic missiles which could fly more than 10 Mach. And that's all for the day. Thank you, friends.